It's very sad to me, as somebody who's known Ben forever and helped make Ben 100%. He became a star on my show, The Kelly File. I'm very sorry to see this happen.
Welcome back to the show, and today, Megyn Kelly, she is ripping into Ben Shapiro. And yeah, she's had enough. She's basically saying, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Yeah, she's saying she made Ben Shapiro, and this guy is getting too big for his boot. But let's get into this, guys.
And there is absolutely no cause to go run around policing the guests on somebody else's show and trying to diminish somebody who is as interesting, but, and I mean this complimentary, benign as Piers Morgan. Piers is not a pernicious force.
So Ben Shapiro, at this point, I don't think he has any friends. All his friends are in Israel, so you might as well just move there, mate. And he's coming for Piers Morgan. Now, Piers, he hosts a show that has pro-Israel people and people that are against Israel. So Ben Shapiro is upset that because a lot of people on Piers Morgan's show right now are coming for Israel, which they should do because Israel is bombing Iran, he's upset and acting like a little boy. Yeah, ridiculous.
Piers is an interesting guy who's got an interesting show. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. It's up to you. I think he's really interesting, and I think his interviews are great. But now we have to get rid of Piers Morgan. So obviously, in Ben's view, Tucker had to go. Clearly, even though he helped build Candace, she had to go. Then I had to go, even though I've had a 15-year friendship with a guy, publicly attacked me. Same thing, not even a text in advance.
Bibi Netanyahu, how much did you pay Ben Shapiro? I want to know the exact figure. You could be friends with him for 20 years. You're gone in a second if you say something about Israel. So what was the price, Mr. Bibi Netanyahu? Tell us. We want to know. But here's a clip of Ben Shapiro coming for Piers Morgan. Yeah, he's upset at Piers because he hosts people on his show that are coming for Israel. Rightfully so. They're bombing Iran as we speak. But let's get into this.
Take Piers Morgan, who doesn't seem to have any thoroughgoing politics. Piers is and always was a click machine. He's driven by fame and by clicks. That's his prerogative. But actually, over the past couple days, he seems really offended. Like he won't stop tweeting about the fact that I called his show the Jerry Springer of political TV on the show a little bit earlier this week, which it clearly is.
Jerry Springer is wild. Yeah, that's wild. He's taking the mick. Piers, we can't have this. We can't have this, Piers.
He then bragged about taking that as a compliment, which is why it's weird that he spent all of yesterday crashing out about that obvious observation. And by the way, he was very upset about it, so upset about it that he decided to counter the accusation that his show has become a clown card filled with brain rot by bragging about his ratings, of course.
No, it's not brain rot, Ben. It's just a left and right perspective, and you went on there yourself. So if it was brain rot, why did you go on the show? You're only getting upset now because everyone is coming against Israel, and it's only right. So you gotta take it on the chin, mate.
And of course, suggesting the only reason that I was not appearing on his show anymore was his criticism of Israel, which is weird because I appeared on his show for literally months after October 7th, even though he was already critical of Israel. And I really haven't said anything on Piers or about Piers or to Piers for probably a year. I just stopped appearing on his show. Why? Well, honestly, he kept bringing on actual Nazis and the Nazi adjacent, and then treated them all too often as voices worthy of a large audience.
No, he's just bringing on people that have something to say about Israel because it just so happens they're the one killing people in the world right now. So just deal with it, Ben. You have to deal with it. And he comes for everyone that has to say something about Israel, but no, Piers Morgan, he's not having it, and he's got something to say back. Let's have a look at this clip.
Doesn't criticize, however, is Israel, and he routinely gets very upset when other people do. It's such a blind spot for Ben that through the red mist of his rage, he sees an alternate reality where anybody who disagrees with him is a demonic, America-hating terror apologist who can only possibly be doing it for ratings. And it was brought to my attention that he was very upset about a debate last week featuring Dave Smith.
So last night on Piers Morgan, which is the Jerry Springer of political television, where people gather to throw chairs at one another and determine paternity. Piers Morgan, who has sort of made a mockery of the entire industry by putting on screen, whatever dregs are still willing to go on screen with Piers Morgan. He had on Dave Smith, who has, apparently his job is never to tell jokes, but to instead give poorly informed foreign policy takes. And also to hate America. Here we go.
Well, first, Jerry Springer was a very good friend of mine, and he was a beloved national treasure who actually hosted one of the most successful shows in television history.
Yeah, shout out Jerry Springer. What a legend. What a legend.
and became a media mogul worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So thank you for that comparison, Ben. Second, we proudly host lively debates on things that people care about, featuring guests that people care about, to cover both sides of complex news stories in an engaging way. Do the debates sometimes get a bit combative? Yes. Do audiences tend to enjoy a bit of theatrical rough and tumble? Of course they do. That's why the Daily Wire, Ben's company, has an entire political debate show which is literally called Bar Fight. That's why Ben's own show features hard-hitting segments including Ben Shapiro destroys celebrity ice reactions. Ben Shapiro destroys the Golden Globes. Ben Shapiro reacts to woke TikToks. Ben Shapiro reacts to woke socialist TikToks. Ben Shapiro reacts to woke religious TikToks. And when it comes to humiliating the industry, please tell me why the Pulitzer Prize Committee did not reward Mr. Shapiro for this masterpiece.
What the Run.
You could say that makes a mockery of the industry.
Now Piers Morgan just cooked Ben Shapiro. Where's the forks and knives, because I'm hungry. He cooked this guy. And Ben, I think your career is over, your views are dropping, and you're just a fake person. If you look who's around you, there's none of your friends anymore. You've cut off Candace Owens, you're coming for Megyn Kelly, and she's upset too. She said you have her number, you could have messaged her. All you do is go online and waffle in that like a female. How are the females acting more manly than you, Ben?
Even though we had a text like literally 4 weeks earlier saying no matter who we're friends with, because he was mad I was friends with Tucker, our friendship means more to us than anything, and we won't do anything to F it up. Next thing I know, I get attacked by him on stage at Turning Point. Now Piers Morgan. Like, how many people have to go? Truly, how many people must be culled from the conservative movement in order to make Ben happy? This is ridiculous. And it's not just Ben. All right, there are others who take his lead. Once he calls you an anti-Semite or says you need to be kicked out of, polite society. There are a couple of others, not a huge amount, I have to say. Ben's numbers are very bad right now, but he's got some influence with some crew.
Now, I don't think he's got any audience. His only audience is the bots that he pays for. Now, how much of a sad person do you have to be to know that you're speaking to bots? Yeah, that's all that's around Ben Shapiro right now. He's pro-Israel till his death, and that's what he's gonna stand by. Right now, America is not feeling it. So of course no one would listen to Ben. Well, let me know your thoughts, guys. Dark Truths Unfiltered. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.